morning. How are you today? Are you okay? It's very early. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, but why not? Any time is good to continue learning English. All right, I want to finish page 46 on gain fluency. We have 4 paragraphs left. And because I want to progress quickly through this book. Probably we won't finish this book by program number 1000, but we can try. Now, when the sun goes down, cuando baja el sol, cuando se pone, when the sun goes down, the bats come out. Batman, the bats, los murciélagos salen. Most of them live under the First Street Bridge, and people gather to watch them come out. Thousands of them. This paragraph is ambiguous at the end. This is true. This is in Austin, Texas. Es impresionante. But it's not First Street Bridge. There's a river that passes through Austin, Texas. Very beautiful river. Passes through Austin, Texas. It's called the Colorado River. Pero es el Río Colorado de Texas, no de Colorado de Arizona. Of the Gran Cañón, no. It's a different Colorado River. It passes through Austin, Texas. Now, there are several bridges. 4. Really 5. There are 5 bridges that cross the Colorado River. One of the bridges is First Street Bridge, the calle número 1, calle primera. But another is Congressional Avenue Bridge. Avenida Congresional, se dice, porque al fondo está el Capitolio. The Congressional Avenue Bridge. Here it says First Street Bridge, but in reality it's Congressional Bridge. And every day of the year, at dusk, or just before dusk, dusk? How do you spell it? D-U-S-K. Dusk. C-K. Dusk. What is that? El atardecer. Cuando. Dusk is the moment, if you're driving, you can't see very well, and the headlights are not enough. It's, you see, in Spain, or in Madrid, where I live, it's interesting, if you go to the park and you pay attention to the birds, if the sun goes down, if the sun sets, for example, at 7 p.m., until 6:30 or 6:45, you see sparrows. Sparrows. Sparrows are gorriones. But then you don't see sparrows, you see swallows. Golondrinas, con puntiagudas. You see there, and then they disappear, and you see murciélagos. You see that moment. There's a moment. It's getting dark, and the bats come out. All right. And of course, it's the same in Austin, Texas. However, the bats live under Congressional Avenue Bridge. And the experts say that there are more than 1 million bats. 1 millón en un tramo de 400 metros debajo de un puente. With 3 lanes in one direction, 3 lanes in the other. So it's a wide bridge, yes. Similar to the Puente Juan Bravo in Madrid or something. But there are over 1 million bats under the bridge. And depending on the season of the year, at sunset, they come out. It's a moment where it's difficult to see the individual bats, but there's so many, it's una manta negra sale por debajo. It goes out. And they go out about 20 kilometers to the east of Austin and have festivities there, eating bugs in the air. They come back before sunrise, of course. All right. And this is Here I say First Street Bridge. It's really Congressional Bridge, but nevertheless, First Street. When the sun goes down, the bats come out. Así estamos jugando con verbos, to go down, to come out. When the sun goes down, the bats come out. When the sun goes down, the bats come out. Most of them, la mayoría de ellos, murciélagos, most of them live under the First Street Bridge. Mentira, no otro, pero aquí. Most of them live under the First Street Bridge. And people gather, la gente se reúne, se congrega, people gather to watch them come out. Thousands of them. Ahora, thousands of them es ambiguo. ¿Qué? ¿Miles de murciélagos o miles de personas? Probably thousands of people. It's not true, but probably there are, at least 1,000 people along the bridge. Yeah. I mean, you have 400 meters and maybe 3 or 4 rows of people waiting to watch the bats come out every day. So as you're driving to downtown Austin, in Congressional, you cross the bridge, they're like, why are there so many people? They're waiting for the bats to come out. So when the sun goes down, the bats come out. Most of them live under the First Street Bridge. And people gather to watch them come out. Thousands of them. All right. The next one, 388, page 46. This is true in my life. This is true. I've only run out of gas twice in my life. Have you ever run out of gas? No? ¿Has quedado sin combustible alguna vez? ¿Sin gasolina? No? Me, twice. Eran 2 años seguidos. I've only run out of gas twice in my life. To run out of gasoline, petrol. I've only run out of gas twice in my life. Once when I was 17 years old on the way to a football game. The second time was only 2 years later, probablemente un año, no me acuerdo. The second was only 2 years later, about 30 miles north of Dallas, Texas. And I remember both very, very well. To run out of gasoline, to run out of gas, queda sin gasolina. The first time, it wasn't my fault. I had a car, an Opel Kadett, and it was destroyed by another person. There was a traffic accident. I needed, and so the insurance company paid for me to have a new car, but there was a period of 2 or 3 weeks in which the dealership gave me a temporary car. The dealership, el concesionario, la concesión, they gave me a temporary car, and the gas gauge didn't work. The gas gauge is el indicador de gasolina. On the instrument panel, el salpicadero. You have the panel de instrumentos, the instrument panel, and you have the gas gauge, gauge escrito, the gas gauge. And the gas gauge didn't work on that car. The reading was almost full, and so I thought I had plenty of gasoline. And I was going, this says a football game, but it's not true. I was going to a track meet. A track meet is una competición de atletismo. Track and field. Meet is un encuentro, a track meet. And I was the star runner. I was the best runner in my school. And I was going with another member of the track team from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Sand Springs. Sand Springs. Manantiales de Arena, Sand Springs, which is very close. It's about 20 minutes. All right. It's just crossing the Arkansas River, Rio Arkansas. We crossed the Arkansas River here in Sand Springs. All right, fine. And I was driving on Route 66, La Ruta 66, when I was driving Route 66, and the car stopped. What? I said, there's no gasoline. There's no gas. It took me about 30 minutes to solve the problem. And we arrived late. I had already missed the relay. It was 4x100 relevos. I missed it. And I was the most important runner. And the coach was angry. And he said, "You're not going to participate today. Forget it. Go home." I said, "What way?" I explained, "Look, this is a car. The gas gauge doesn't work. It wasn't my fault." Finally, the coach gave in. Que dio el brazo a torcer. Ya se dio, vale. And I ran. Thank God. Because probably the most enjoyable race of my life, I ran. We were racing against Booker T. Washington en el Instituto Todos Negros in the north of Tulsa, from the black neighborhood, and I was running the 400 meters. And his name was Johnson. I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Johnson. He was good in the 400 meters. And there were 6 runners, there were 6 lanes, 6 calles. 3 from my high school and 3 from Booker T. Washington High School. And bam, started running. Immediately, in the first curve, he came up next to me right here, about 10 or 15 centimeters behind me, but right on my shoulder. And he was on the inside lane. He was inside. So tenía menos recorrido. And we ran down the backstretch, la recta del otro lado, like this, like this. I went into the curve, like this, and I was still. I never let him catch up. And we went into the home stretch, la recta de final, and he was still there. And I don't know why, but I was feeling strong. And I was able to keep him right there, frustrated that he couldn't pass me. And he finally gave up. He finally gave up. I've never forgotten that race. Many races, I probably don't remember 90% of them, but I will never forget that race. And it was thanks to the fact that the coach finally gave in. He was angry with me for arriving late, but it wasn't my fault. But he finally gave in and let me run the 400 meters and the 200 meters as well, which I also won, and the 400 meter relay. That was a lot of fun running. Okay, but here I say a football game. I've only run out of gas twice in my life. Once, when I was 17 years old, on the way to a football game. The second time was only 2 years later, about 30 miles north of Dallas, Texas. In the second case, it was my fault. Apurando. This is typical of men. The husband and wife are driving, and the wife says, "Nos queda poco gasolina." Bueno, why don't you stop at this one? I'll go to the next one. Are you sure we have enough? Yeah, no. Siempre apuramos los hombres. Go to the next one. And I did that, and I ran out of gasoline. About 30 miles, 40 kilometers, 25 miles north of Dallas, Texas, driving south. I pulled over, parked the car, of course. I had a gas can, which is a recipient, for gasoline with a handle, always in my trunk. After the first time this happened when I was 17, I always had a gas can, but it was empty. So I saw a gas station in the distance, maybe 2 miles away, 2 kilometers. All right, so I started walking along the side of the highway. Immediately, in a question of 15 or 20 seconds, a car pulled over and said, I'll take you. You need gasoline?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take you." So I got into the car, and he drove me. We went off the ramp to the gas station, and I fill the little gasoline container, the recipient. But the man took me back, and that was a problem because he needed to drive about 3 kilometers, turn over the highway at autopista, and then go back about 5 kilometers, cross, and then go back in order to reach my car. So this man probably devoted at least 10 or 15 minutes to me, to my problem. I was very grateful, of course. I said, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And that was just north of Dallas, Texas. Running out of gas, only twice in my life. All right, but I've had several flat tires and blowouts. 2 reventones y probablemente 5 pinchazos. Yeah. Era experto en cambiar rueda. Now no. Now I'll call, hey, I'll give you 10 euros if you change the tire for me and things. Okay. So the last time I had a flat tire was in about 15 years ago, on the way to Cantabria, to Noja. I had to give a speech in Burgos. Boom, un reventón, a blowout. And I couldn't give the speech, I had to cancel it. All right, let's go on, 2 more. Let's see, paragraph number 389, almost at the bottom of page 46. How do you do it? How do you do it? I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. How do you do it? I've watched you do it at least 10 times, and I still don't know why it doesn't work for me when I try to do it. What's your secret? Yeah. You see this? Can you do this, Marta? You see? You can't do that. How do you do it? I've tried. Como dice? How do you do it? I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. You can't do it. Yeah. I've watched you do it at least 10 times, and I still don't know why it doesn't work when I do it. No funciona cuando lo hago yo. What's your secret? Huh? You need to hold your nose right. And you don't know how to do that? Does Victor know how to do that? You want me to teach you? You want me to teach you how to do it? And so you can teach your son how to do it? Come on. You know how to do it, right? Marta doesn't know how to do it. Do you know how to do it? Yeah. All right. After the class, I'll teach you how to do it. But I'm sure Marta will mess up. Oh, no lo conseguirá. She'll mess up. Mess up means lo fastidiará. No. Pero ¿cómo? Dices, Blanca Flor, dímelo otra vez. ¿Cómo lo haces? Ahora me llama cactus de marismas. All right. She calls me. You see, I got tired. She calls everybody Blanca Flor. All right. Yo soy uno más del montón de las blancas flores. Yeah. And she calls everybody corazón de melón. Not me. I thought porque Ricardo, corazón de león. Y yo soy Ricardo. And so it's, me llamará corazón de melón por ser Ricardo. No, llama hasta León y Pablo y Pepe. Everybody's good. So I said, I need something different. And now she calls me cactus de marismas. All right. I cactus en las marismas? Probably not. All right. Cactus is in desert. En la Parque de Doñana no habrá cactus. Seguro. All right. So, how do you do it? How do you do it? I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. I've tried doing it. Esta frase me encanta para practicar el inglés. He intentado hacerlo y no funciona. I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. He probado haciéndolo. No es que haya intentado. He probado haciéndolo. I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. I've watched you do it at least 10 times. And I still don't know why it doesn't work when I try to do it. What's your secret? All right. It's easy. Practice. Practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes perfect. Yeah, this is probably the first time in history somebody has done this on television. All right? You've never seen this. Aquí en España no hacen esto. Sí, lo hacen, eh? I've seen it before. All right. How do you do it? I've tried doing it and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work. I've watched you do it at least 10 times and I still don't know why it doesn't work when I try to do it. Cuando intento yo. What's your secret? And one more. All right, and we finish with this. We finish page 46 at the bottom. If you really want them to support you, you should take the time to see them and talk to them about how you designed the system and why you're so passionate about it. Okay. Yeah. You know, if you really want them to support you, you should take the time to see them and talk to them about how you designed the system and why you're so passionate about it. I'm very passionate about el método Vaughan. I'm very passionate. Yeah. I'm very passionate. I have strong convictions. I'm very passionate about it. So, and Marta said, pero si realmente quieres que te apoyen en esta iniciativa nueva, tienes que tomar el tiempo de hablar con ellos y de verles y hablar con ellos sobre cómo diseñaste el método y por qué estás tan apasionado. Okay, fine. If you really want them to support you, to back you up, if you really want them to support you, you should take the time. Okay, tomar el tiempo. Okay, take the time to see them and talk to them about how you designed, como diseñaste, the system and why you're so passionate about it. The passion. No me gusta la palabra pasión. Es una palabra trillada, demasiado usada. You have to work, tienes que entrar con pasión. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Passion, all right. I'm not passionate about my work. I've never been passionate about my job. I've been very successful in my life professionally, but it wasn't, for me, a question of passion. It was a question of responsibility. You know, people are paying me money to improve their English, so I have a very clear, direct responsibility to them to do the best I can. It's never been a question of passion. I don't necessarily agree with this approach, with this sermon, sermoneando pasión, you need passion. Responsibility, yes. Hard work, yes. Honesty and sincerity, yes. And conviction, yes. Convicciones, sí, también. This is the best method, these books, strong convictions. But it's not a question of passion necessarily. But here, it says passion. Yes, if you really want them to support you, you should take the time to see them and talk to them about how you designed the system and why you're so passionate about it. Pasionate, apasionado. Why you're so passionate about it. All right. Richard, yeah. Are you really passionate about these things? Passionate? No. But I have clear convictions about these things, yes. I prefer the expression convictions. All right, we have finished page 46. We will start on page 47. The next time, how much time do we have, Marta? Not much. I was planning to teach grammar, but I'll have to wait until the next class. The verb tenses. I'm sitting at the table. 10 minutes ago, I was sitting at this table. in 10 minutes' time, I won't be sitting at this table because the class will have ended. Habrá terminado. So in 10 minutes' time, I won't be sitting at this table. I will have left. Futuro perfecto, me habré marchado. I will have left this room and started going home. So, but I would continue here if the program lasted an hour. But this program lasts 26 minutes. It doesn't last an hour. But if it lasted an hour, I would still be sitting here in 10 minutes' time. But since this class doesn't last an hour, I won't be sitting here in 10 minutes' time. I will be on my way home. But now I have to say goodbye. My time is up. The time's up. The party's over. See you tomorrow.